freshman phenom to senior record holder, Taylor Funk had quite the career for Manheim Central boys basketball team. Coming into his final season in maroon and gray, Funk had already eclipsed the 1,000-point mark, so now the career scoring records were the last hurdles to clear in his illustrious 4 years for the Barons. All the way back at the beginning of 2017 in late January, the pressure started to mount for Funk as everyone watched intently at every single game, counting every single point, waiting for Funk to go over the 1,706-point mark held by Tom Kneff. Finally, on January 27th, at home against rival Cocalico, Taylor Funk drains this three-pointer to become the boys' all-time leading scorer, and it's almost fitting that it would be from long range. With #1 in boys history locked up, Funk and his teammates concentrated on their postseason, making the LL League playoffs as well as districts. Even though they didn't bring home any titles, the Barons did keep winning just enough for Funk to keep scoring.
There you go.
Good strong move by Funk. Funk's three is good.
Here's Funk with a steal. Coasts in. What a nice move by Taylor Funk.
And eventually, on March 1st, Taylor Funk became the all-time leading scorer in school history as he passed Hillary Waltman's record of 1,937.
Funk for three, and a cloudy still knocks it down.
Manheim Central then found themselves in the PIAA state playoffs for the third time in Taylor Funk's career. Despite 21 points from Funk in their first-round game, the Barons fell to East Stroudsburg North, ending one of the best individual careers the school has ever seen. Funk stands atop the all-time scoring record books at Manheim Central with 1,977 points, a mark that might not be topped for another decade or more. And it's that career milestone that puts Taylor Funk at #4 on our countdown of the top sports stories of 2017. We're here at the Lancaster Country Club, home of the 2015 U.S. Women's Open. I'm Chad Landers, joined by Lidditz native and local amateur golfer Allison Weaver. Now, Allie, you are very familiar with the course. Why don't you explain a little bit some of the difficulties that the golfers will be facing?
It's going to play very long. They're going to be walking up a lot of hills. It's going to be hot. And there's going to be a lot of hazards that they're going to have to come in contact with. And I think by the end of the week, they're going to be extremely tired. This rough is really going to change how these women play the golf course. There should be a first cut, which, you know, is obviously very playable. The ball will sit up very nice for them. But then that third cut of rough, which we're standing in right now, will be anywhere from, 4 to 5 inches long probably. And that really, I think, lengthens any hole if you get into it, and also makes it just that much harder as a U.S. Open course.
And with the rough being how it is, I mean, how does that play into their whole, mindset of attacking this course?
I think if they can get a shorter club in their hands, it won't be such a problem. But for some of these girls who have to maybe hit a hybrid out of this rough or a long iron, they might have to either make sure that drive gets in the fairway or take a different plan of action that would get themselves in the fairway, that they could hit that club. This heavier rough, it's extremely hard to hit out of right now, and I know it's probably just going to be thicker by the time the tournament gets here. Once the tiredness sets in and they're exhausted by the end of the week, this course will play a lot different.
Beautiful sunny day for competition at the prestigious 121st Penn Relays. 8 different states in the country of Jamaica represented in Friday's high school discus event. Warwick's David Lucas, one of the favorites to win the whole thing, using last year's experience to help create a winning mindset this time around.
This year I came into it and I was really trying to focus on controlling what I can control. So the minute that I step into that circle, I'm in control of what's going on, and that's all I can worry about. Whatever happens to the disc once it comes off my hand, that's a product of what happens in the circle.
Lucas, extremely focused on what he had to do to finish in medal contention. On his first throw in preliminaries, sets a new career high, a 198.9, catapulting him to the top of the pack.
I just want to be consistent. I want to take it easy on the first throw, be controlled and hit good positions, and turn up, throwing an 8-foot PR. So I was very excited to start off the series with that.
Just minutes later, on his third and final attempt at the prelims, Lucas sets another career high, this time 199.7.
To hit a big PR like that in a meet like this with great competition, I'm super excited.
With that throw, Lucas was seeded second heading into the finals behind Trevor DeTillione from Ohio, who threw at 203.6. All 8 competitors in the final rounds would try to beat that mark, but no one was able. Even Lucas could not improve on his career high. So the Warwick senior brings home silver and could not have been more proud after the meet.
You know, to have a medal from Penn Relays, I think says a lot. It's, you know, not many people get are blessed, to be able to come out here and be able to compete and to continue to progress, in the manner that I have. I'm thrilled to come out with a second place medal.
Lucas was the top thrower from Pennsylvania and will now try to take that effort into the postseason, where he'll be gunning for the rare trifecta gold at leagues, districts, and states. Reporting from the Penn Relays in Philadelphia, Chad Landers, News 11 Sports.
The countdown is finally over. It will be Field Hockey Mania over at Spooky Sports for the next 10 days. The Pan Am Cup, held on U.S. soil for the first time ever. 10 nations, both men and women's teams, and eventually 2 champions. Our Chad Landers spent the afternoon at the Nook and has an exclusive interview for us.
We're here at Spooky Nook Sports, and a very special and important guest right now joining me. It's Paula Parks. She is the technical delegate here at the Pan American Cup. She's actually been involved in one way, shape, or form for 19 years with this international field hockey. So the exact person we want to talk to, day one, already off to a great start. Paula, could you just kind of describe to us how things have gone so far in day one in your estimation?
Oh, very, very well. The complex here at Spooky Nook is really amazing. Nook Sports has done a tremendous job. USA Field Hockey using this as their home base for the women's program. Really tremendous, so couldn't be happier.
And of course, a beautiful day, obviously, the weather helps. Now, as I said, 19 years doing this. This is your 4th Pan American Cup. This, by the way, is the first one to ever be held in the United States. It's kind of special for us. This is also your first time being involved in a field hockey tournament in the U.S., so kind of give us your emotions and your feelings about that, because that's kind of a big deal.
You know what? It's really lovely to be here. Over the years, I've worked with several American officials in the various tournaments that I've done previously, and so it's really nice to now see them in their home turf, literally and figuratively. And so it's really terrific to be here and to see USA Field Hockey in its glory, which, this really showcases so well the sport and their team. Yeah.
Now, we're just getting this week started, but I have to kind of look towards everything. What is one or two things that you're really looking forward to as this week progresses? What's something that just needs to go right for you as this week continues on?
Well, part of the aspect of being a technical delegate is dealing with issues in terms of inclement weather and sometimes disciplinary actions that occur on the field. So if everybody behaves themselves, I'm very happy, and if the weather behaves themselves, I'm also very happy. So if we get by most of the week with those two things, that makes my job much easier, and the tournament will go very smoothly.
Amazing. Well, again, we hope all of that goes well. We hope you enjoy your stay here. I should mention Paula from Canada, our neighbors to the north, so we welcome her and the rest of the delegation down here. But thanks so much for joining us. Really appreciate it.
Very welcome.
Good luck with the tournament, and we are happy to be broadcasting it here on BRC 11 and to everybody online streaming it. So from reporting here at the Nook in Manheim Township, Chad Landers, News 11 Sports. After several grueling days of competition, Berks LL on the brink of rewriting history, making it to back-to-back championship games in the Carpenter Cup tournament. One last hurdle, the ladies of Tri-Cape, who were in last year's final against Berks LL, trying to avoid being runners-up 2 years in a row. Right away, they'd get a runner down to third base in the first inning, but Exeter's Haley Kissamore catches her venturing off the base too far, guns her down. Berks LL gets out of the inning without surrendering a run. We go to the third, runners on for Warwick's Amanda Herr, who skies that pitch to deep center field. It's tracked down, but far enough for Donegal's Peyton Hornick to score. It's 1-0 Berks LL. Amanda Herr in to close it down, but Tri-Cape blasts that pitch to the fence. However, Reagan Rohr from Manheim Central right there to track it down, preserves the lead. What a play by her, and Berks LL escapes with the 2-1 victory. They are your 2017 Carpenter Cup champions, claiming the title in back-to-back years. After the game, players and coaches enjoyed holding the trophy, even taking pictures, and all agreed it was a complete team accomplishment.
When we look at talent, we just think talent multiplies if you have somebody who legitimately is looking forward to and enjoys the success of the girls to the left and the right of her, and good things happen. They buy into it, and their level of play has increased tremendously.
I'm excited for this every year. It's such a fun experience, and just coming together as a team. It's really fun to come together with all these girls that you kind of hate because they're so good in high school season, but coming together and getting to know them and creating relationships with them, it's just a really good experience.
Everyone had each other's backs. I think that's what helped it the most, because once they got people on, like, everyone knew what they were doing. No one got frustrated. Everyone just knew what they were supposed to do, and they knew they had like a job to do.
They certainly got the job done, doing what no other team has ever done in the 13-year history of this tournament, win back-to-back titles, something this team won't soon forget. Reporting from Philadelphia, Chad Landers, News 11 Sports.
Our Chad Landers is at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Hey, Chad, what's that atmosphere like there at the Clip?
Hey, Brian. Well, right now, nobody on the field as everybody's kind of getting their game face on and getting into the mentality to start the game. But we were able to get Blake Galen out here to chat with us, back for the 7th year here in a Barnstormers uniform. So certainly very comfortable and hitting pretty good. Team got off to a slow start, but now you guys have kind of caught fire. How's the team feeling as you get ready for your first home game? And what do you feel like is the strength of this team?
It's so early to tell, really. I feel like our offense is going to be clicking pretty good. Our starting pitching and our bullpen's pretty good too. So if we can maintain those and our defense picks it up a little bit, our defense has had some holes in the last couple of games, and I think it's just so early that everyone's kind of breaking off some rust. If we can clean that up a little bit, I think we'll be all right.
All right, so trying to get their feet under them here. They have to play the York Revolution for the second series here in about a week. How does that kind of mentally affect you guys? Do you like that you've played your rivals this much this early, or would you have rather had some time?
You know, it's one of those things we don't really care too much about, but it's always advantage hitters when you see a pitcher more often in a shorter amount of time. So, you know, there might be a little bit more offense tonight and in this series than there had been in the first few games, which is kind of hard to imagine because there was a lot of offense in those 2 games, or those 4 games. Yeah. But it's always advantage hitters, and watch tonight will be a pitcher's duel or something. So.
Well, let's hope not. I'm sure the fans, when they start rolling into here, will love to see the fireworks. Blake hasn't hit his first home run of the season yet, so everyone hoping that happens tonight. But thanks so much for coming on, and appreciate you talking with us.
All right, my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
All right, good luck tonight. Blake Galen and the boys getting ready to go. 7 o'clock tonight for the game, and we will have highlights of that later on tonight at 10. I'll throw it back to you, Brian, reporting live here in Lancaster. Chad Landers, News 11 Sports.
Week 1 of Lancaster Lebanon League football. Now, it is the non-league schedule, which means that there are rivalry games aplenty all around the mid-state tonight. We find our very own Chad Landers at one such game, Warwick at Mannheim Central. Hey, Chad, lots of history between these 2 teams, but it's been all Mannheim lately.
You are correct, Brian. These 2 teams have been playing since 1948. Warwick getting the win in that first year, by the way. It was a pretty even rivalry all the way up until 1983. But since that point, it has been 20 straight victories for the Barons. My guest at this time has been there for most of those victories. Now in your 2nd year coaching here for Mannheim as the head coach, it is Dave Hahn. Thanks for giving us just a little bit of time here before the game.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
So you just had the guys in the locker room. What was the message before we walked out here for another season opener?
Well, we really didn't talk to them yet. We'll talk to them when we go back up. But I think the message right now is, you know, no one play is going to make or break this game. It's going to be penalties, turnovers, and explosive plays. Who can win those battles is who's going to win the game. So just keep playing hard, play the whole game. Don't play half the game, play the whole game.
Now, you guys, as I said, that 20-game winning streak, but more recently it's been 4 straight years here that you've beaten Warwick. What is it that you've had their number? What are you guys doing?
Again, I just think we've been fortunate that we're well conditioned at this point, and in the past we've been well conditioned that we're ready to play 4 quarters, 5th quarter if need be.
That's a good point, right? So, you know, you guys have actually been so impressive in your opening games in the seasons. You have a 10-game winning streak in the opening game of the season. You know, that's just so impressive. What does that say about your program?
Well, it says each year we're 1-0 after week 1, so that's it. It's a long season, so it's obviously important to get that first win under your belt in that first week. But other than that, it just tells us we're 1-0.
All right, I will give you a bonus point if you can tell me who you last lost to 10, 11 years ago.
Central Dauphin.
It was Central Dauphin, and that is head coach Dave Hahn of the Mannheim Barons. We'll see how it all goes down tonight here in Mannheim between Warwick and those Barons. Now, Warwick is coming off a 2-8 season, but they are much improved, and they are looking to snap that 20-game losing streak to Warwick. So you can see it all live right here on BRC 11. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m. The Warwick Warriors, Mannheim Central Barons, ready to go in week 1 of high school football. Reporting live here in Mannheim, Chad Landers, News 11 Sports. We're now over here at Spooky Nook Sports to catch up with Mannheim Central's team leader and leading scorer, Taylor Funk. Thanks for joining us. Are you ready to shoot around and answer a couple of questions for us?
I'm absolutely ready.
Nice. All right, so it's been a couple of great years for you, 3 years. Tell us what it's been like to play for Mannheim Central and all the great teammates you've had.
Well, it's been great. I mean, coaching has been incredible. The teammates, the great guys. We never had any trouble with any of the guys. Stay out of trouble. We have a lot of fun when we play. We're just all good friends, and we know how to play basketball. We know how to have fun with it.
Now, for the first 3 years, you've done a ton of scoring for this team, and you just went over the 1,000-point mark last year. What was that experience like for you, and were you happy that it was finally over?
Yeah, I was. I would have liked to have it at a home court, but it was all right. I mean, Elko, the fans are great. I mean, afterwards, I'm good friends with some of the teammates, or some of the guys on Elko, and they came up to me, got some pictures, talked to each other, and it was fun.
All right, Taylor, you are such a unique talent on the basketball court. You're 6'9", so everybody anticipates that you'd be under the basket, but no, you find yourself out here by the three-point line, and you're actually really deadly from out here. So when did you figure that out, and how did that become your thing?
When I was little, I would play with my dad, and we'd always play with older guys. And I couldn't dribble, I couldn't go inside, or they just block it. So my dad said, you can play with us as long as you either catch and pass or catch and shoot, no dribbling. I guess it paid off.
Okay, so where exactly then is your favorite place to shoot from behind the three-point arc?
My favorite place is right where I'm standing.
Okay, all right. Don't shoot yet. We will test you later, all right? But we'll get back to that. Talk to us a little bit about the recruitment process. That's a big deal for everybody in high school. Obviously, early on, you figured out you were going to play at a pretty high level. Tell us about why you picked where you went and kind of how that all went down for you.
I picked St. Joe's. The coach, I mean, he's incredible. He's like a father, and that's what he preaches. He preaches family, school, basketball, but he's told me, he said, I'm going to be your dad for the next 4 years, and that's exactly what I wanted in a coach.
Phil Martelli said that to you.
He did.
All right, Taylor, it's your last year for Mannheim Central, and the team is filled with seniors, so that's a good thing. You've been through this situation before, although you were an underclassman, but a team filled with upperclassmen. How good can this team really be, and how will you guys surprise everyone?
It definitely can be good. I mean, senior heavy, that always helps, especially in the fourth quarter when times are tough. Tie game, couple minutes to go. Experience on the floor definitely helps a lot.
And people are obviously going to look to you, so is the defense. So who are some of the guys that maybe could take that final shot and win a game for Mannheim?
I think anyone on our team right now. I mean, Connor Hostetter, he's a knockdown shooter. Roman Wagner, Trevor Hostler, Tyler Lyons. I mean, we all can score the basket, and that's what's really going to help us this year.
One final test. Again, I apologize. We're not in school, but we are at your favorite spot on the court. Let's end the interview on a good note. All right, make this one.
All right.
There you have it. Never a doubt. Taylor Funk, thanks so much for joining us today. Have a great season. Coming up after the break, we will take a look at more of the impact players around the Lancaster Lebanon League that should really shine this year. Spoiler alert, Taylor will be one of them. We'll be right back.
Finally, it's been almost a week since Warwick grad and current Penn State track and field athlete David Lucas won a national indoor title in the weight throw. For his impressive performance, he was named Big Ten Field Athlete of the Year. And just this afternoon, our Chad Landers chatted with the national champ about his steady improvement this season and how everything came together for him at just the right time.
All the years have kind of been leading up to this. I've been really fortunate to have some great coaching and, great coaches, great strength coaches, fantastic support from family and friends kind of leading through this whole process. I've never thrown the event in high school, never even picked it up, and really didn't know anything about it. So coming to college is really a fresh start with something completely new. I'm a very coachable athlete, so I was able to, learn things and pick up on things quickly. When you're being instructed by someone who was a national champion in the hammer throw when they were in college, my coach, Lucas McKay, that you're not picking up bad habits, that you're learning things the way they're supposed to be done from someone who's already had the success before.
Lucas's winning throw of 78 feet 9 3/4 inches came in his 5th attempt out of 6 and places him 4th best in NCAA history. You can see that Lucas has put in the work physically, adding 30 pounds of muscle to his 6'2" frame, but he credits his mental preparation just as much as his athletic ability.
I think that this indoor season and what I've done with the weight throw has really taught me a lot about competing. It has really helped me to learn how to manage anxiety, manage competition anxiety, and really be able to channel that anxiety. I know how to compete now and to compete at this level. So moving forward with this, I'm really excited to see how I can continue to work to transfer what I've learned from this indoor season into my events and outdoors.
And Lucas will be busy this spring for Penn State as he plans to throw the hammer, shot put, and what he really was recruited for, the discus, an event he should be competing for a Big Ten title and at least top 5 at nationals. Chad Landers, News 11 Sports.
What a huge week it is for golf in Lancaster County. Our preview series for the 70th annual U.S. Women's Open continues. Today, News 11 Sports' Chad Landers talks about the overall difficulty level of the course, specifically on hole number 12.
Our coverage of the 2015 U.S. Women's Open continues here at the prestigious Lancaster Country Club. The 4 days of competition will test the best female golfers in the world on every single shot they take. I'm joined by Lidditz native and local amateur golfer Allison Weaver, and we're going to take you on a unique first-hand look at exactly what these golfers will be facing. Allison, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Let's start with one of the most difficult holes on the entire course, the par 3 12th hole. It may look short at 169 yards to the pin, but looks can be deceiving.
I think this is a very intimidating hole. You have bunkers in the back, you have water in the front. There's a creek that runs in front of the green. So if you actually hit the green, you can kind of see the false front of the green. If you hit anywhere in the center and have any kind of backspin on your ball rolls right off and it can go in the water. They keep that short enough in the front there that they make sure that it rolls back. Par would be a good score.
So golfers will pay special attention to the water in the front of this green, but if their tee shot sails long, they'll have a whole new set of challenges ahead of them, starting with the 4 large bunkers on the back side of the green.
It's extremely tough. You have to get it out of the bunker, and not only get it out of the bunker, you have to get it the right speed to get to the hole but not go in the water.
Are you really sweating this shot if you're in the tournament?
Yeah. It's not the most pleasant place to be.
So let's assume the players avoid the sand trap at all costs but end up leaving themselves a long putt for birdie. They'll still have to deal with incredibly fast and sloped greens, which doesn't lend itself to shooting a low score.
I think they're going to make them as fast as they possibly can. They're going to make it very hard for the players on a green like this to, stay below the hole. And I think anything above this hole, it's going to be a very treacherous putt. And I think they're going to make them extremely quick to make players have to hit the ball in a certain area.
You heard it here first from our local golf expert. Hole number 12, birdies will be hard to come by. Par is the goal, but absolute craziness is sure to ensue. So mark it down and stop on by when you get to the course. Reporting from the Lancaster Country Club, Chad Landers, News 11 Sports.
Thank you, Chad and Allison. The countdown is finally over. It will be Field Hockey Mania over at Spooky Nook Sports for the next 10 days. The Pan Am Cup held on U.S. soil for the first time ever. 10 nations, both men and women's teams, and eventually 2 champions. Our Chad Landers joins us now from the Nook. Hey, Chad.
Hey Brian, day one of the Pan American Cup off to a great start. Already had 2 games in action earlier today, both Chile and Canada getting the win. Right now we are waiting for Brazil and Mexico to take the field in game number 3. Of course, they are ahead of the primetime game tonight, which is USA versus Argentina on the men's side. Let's give you some stats, kind of what's going on for the tournament. There will be 15 international teams in action for this tournament, both on the men and women's side, and they each carry about 18 athletes on their squad. So when you total it all up, 270 athletes here in Lancaster County for this tournament, enjoying all that there is for this amazing tournament. And obviously USA, it's the first time they're ever hosting it, so a big deal here. One interesting fact, the Venezuelan men, actually, they're over at Millersville University for the week. Yeah, they are taking residence up there. The rest of the team staying in hotels locally, so that is an interesting aside there for you. As for Team USA on the women's side, they are not playing today, obviously. Prime time on Saturday for them. You can see that on BRC 11. But the women did practice today. They'll have the rest of the day off, or are expected to come back and enjoy the men's game tonight against Argentina, root them on. They will have a workout on Saturday morning where they'll try and get their last preparations in. And then around 5 o'clock, they will report and get their game faces on as they are set to take on Mexico. Had a great tournament down in South Africa, but of course trying to move on from all of those accomplishments and really focus on a big tournament here at the Pan American Cup.
There was a lot of excitement coming off of South Africa, but it's time to kind of put that to bed, learn what we need to learn. But we know that we're going to face some really good opposition here, and there's going to be a lot of different styles of play.
It's amazing that we can bring all these teams around the Pan American region to come here and host them in our home field. No game is going to be easy by any means. They're all going to pose their own challenges. So we're just going to stick to the process, do our jobs, and try and learn from everything.
We've always been a good team about just playing until the end and not giving up. It's kind of like do or die, so we give it our all throughout the game, and hopefully that we do the right things, that we're able to get the goals and pull out a win.
We will, of course, have plenty to report on when the U.S. women finally get in action over the weekend. And then next week, as they continue on in this tournament, we will have more reports right here from Spooky Nook Sports. But for now, we'll send it back to you in the studio. Reporting in Lancaster County, Spooky Nook Sports, Chad Landers, News 11 Sports. Hey, Shannon. Well, we are here. The sun is trying to poke its head out, and we're hoping for a good night of baseball here at Clipper Magazine Stadium. Of course, the guy that's in charge of making sure all of this goes off smoothly, Mike Reynolds, the general manager of the Lancaster Barnstormers. Thanks for joining us, and how you feeling?
Hey, feeling great. Thanks for coming down and checking us out tonight.
All right, so we got to ask you some questions. What are some of the things that fans can expect this season at the ballpark? There's some new cool things going on, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of cool new things. We have the one that we're in, our Broken Bat, the brand new local craft brewery that we have. Over 20 local breweries in our Broken Bat. Fans come out, grab a lawn ticket, and just hang out here all night and just socialize.
All right, so lots of stuff. This is a really cool facility out here, so everyone's going to have to check that out. But tonight, a pretty special night, I would say, on opening night. It's May 4th, Star Wars night. You guys have to be excited about the kind of the craziness that's going to go on with that. What can people expect when they come out here?
You know, May the 4th be with you. The first 1,000 fans through the gates get a Star Wars t-shirt. We have a lot of the Star Wars characters coming out. We have a lot of different video usage of a video board with all different like Star Wars themes, Star Wars promotions on the field. We are going to be Star Wars out tonight.
And you're hoping the weather holds out, right?
Hoping the weather holds out because we end the night with a fireworks display. So we want the weather to hold off and just let us get our opening night game in.
I think it'll be good. The sun's coming out, giving us a good sign. All right, well, good luck tonight with the game, and obviously good luck rest of the season. Thanks for coming on.
Hey, thanks for being down here in Lancaster.
Yeah, no problem. All right, so we will be back in a little bit later in the newscast for sports. We're going to talk with a member of the Lancaster Barnstormers team. But for now, Chad Landers reporting live in Lancaster. Shannon, back to you.